Imagine walking through a crowded market when suddenly, you hear your daughter's voice on the phone, crying, panicked, saying she's been cornered by strangers. And when you arrive, it isn't just random people. It's a group of church women screaming at your child about being a bad Christian, for not loving the grandparents who abused her. That was the moment I knew. Enough was enough. And the revenge I planned? Oh, let's just say it left my ex-in-laws humiliated in front of their entire church community. If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to people who manipulate, lie, and bully the innocent, then buckle up. This story has betrayal, heartbreak, and one of the most satisfying paybacks you'll ever hear. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into it. I'm a 46-year-old mother of two teenage daughters, 17 and 15. My ex-husband, well, he's no longer alive. He died in an accident last year. But his death didn't end the pain he caused us. If anything, it magnified it. You see, before he died, I found out he had been cheating on me. Worse, he fathered two sons with his affair partner. And as if fate wanted to make things more complicated, the affair partner also died in the same accident, leaving behind two little boys who were suddenly orphaned. Now, as tragic as that sounds, the truth is, my daughters are traumatized. They were the ones who uncovered their father's affair in the first place. They were the ones who told me. And the guilt and grief of carrying that secret, it scarred them. They're in therapy, working through it, but the last thing they want is to be forced into being big sisters to the living reminders of their father's betrayal. But my ex-in-laws, his parents, they decided to make my daughters their personal punching bags. They tried to get custody of them through court. They even tried to move into my house, insisting it's what their son would have wanted. Spoiler alert. Neither of those things were going to happen. Now here's where things get ugly. We live in a town that hosts a weekend market. Fresh produce, meats, eggs, honey. It's one of those places that feels alive, buzzing with people. That weekend happened to be my youngest daughter's birthday. Her party was scheduled later in the month, so I gave her a budget and told her, go wild. Buy whatever makes you happy. Mostly, she picked chocolate and sweets. But after about an hour, I started getting nervous. Just as I was about to call her, my phone rang. It was her. She was crying. Her voice cracked as she told me that a group of strange older women had cornered her. My heart dropped. I grabbed my eldest and we sprinted across the market. And what do we find? 6 women, yes 6, standing around my 15-year-old daughter like vultures. They weren't just talking. They were berating her. Spitting venom about how unchristian she was for not spending time with her grandparents, for refusing to play big sister to her father's affair children. My daughter was frozen, tears streaming down her face. I stepped in between them so fast I barely remember moving. My oldest grabbed her sister's bag and ran to pay for the sweets. I planted myself like a wall between those women and my crying child. They sneered at me. Some of them I even recognized, from my ex-in-law's church. And do you know what they said? That I was an even bigger sinner. That I was a bad Christian wife for not obeying my ex's parents. Obeying. Their word, not mine. I told my daughters to go to the car. Meanwhile, the women kept yelling, louder and louder, until finally the market staff asked us all to leave. As I walked away, they followed me, like a pack of vultures circling a carcass. I barely managed to get my girls into the car before driving off. Inside, my hands were trembling on the steering wheel. My daughters sat in silence, too shaken to speak. And I knew, this wasn't just about a market scene. This was a war my ex-in-laws had started, and they had no idea who they were dealing with. That night, after putting my girls to bed, I logged onto Facebook. And what did I see? My ex-mother-in-law had posted this massive sob story in the church group. According to her, my daughters and I had turned our backs on family. She painted herself and her husband as penniless, homeless victims. She accused me of refusing to take in my poor orphan boys. And the cherry on top? She said I was the reason she lost her grandsons to distant relatives. It was a Hallmark-worthy tragedy, crafted to wring sympathy from the congregation. And it worked. People flooded the comments with prayers, offers of money, words of support. But here's the kicker. This church? They're rigidly conservative. Annoying on many things, especially LGBTQ+ topics. But they have one golden rule. Cheating is absolutely unforgivable. Doesn't matter who does it, man or woman. It's the ultimate sin in their eyes. So how did my ex-mother-in-law explain away the two affair babies? Simple. She lied. She told the church my ex and I had used a surrogate. She said I rejected the babies because they were boys. Think about that. She twisted my ex's betrayal into a false story where I was the villain. That's when I decided. Enough was enough. They wanted to play dirty? I was going to burn their entire house of lies to the ground. Luckily, I had an arsenal. See, my divorce wasn't finalized when my ex died, which meant I had kept every scrap of evidence. Photos of him cheating, text messages, emails, even messages from his parents admitting they knew about.
So the next morning I went to a print shop. And I spent money, good money, printing everything in crisp, glossy color. Photos of him and his mistress making out in our living room. Text chains with his parents supporting his cheating. Emails where his parents bullied my daughters, even calling them bastards and blaming them for their father's death. I didn't stop there. I bought binders. And I organized everything into neat little packets. Do you know what they looked like when I was done? Hymn booklets, just like the ones the church handed out during service. And at the very front, a photo of my ex and his mistress locked in a passionate kiss. Underneath, in bold letters, ex's name and mistress's name. A love story. The execution that Sunday, I walked into church like nothing was wrong. While people chatted and prepared for service, I strolled over to the desk where they keep the hymn booklets. Quietly, calmly, I slid my binders into the pile. Inbox.
And then, I walked out. The gossip mill did the rest. By the end of the week, Facebook was on fire. My ex was being called names I won't repeat here. His mistress? Same treatment. The pastor himself had to intervene to keep things family-friendly. But the real fallout was from my ex-in-laws. Suddenly, everyone knew they had helped cover up the affair. Everyone knew they had bullied my daughters. They were shamed so thoroughly, so publicly, that they ended up leaving the church altogether. Meanwhile, I got 2 apology letters in the mail. One for me, one for my girls, and an invitation to rejoin the church for support. My ex-in-laws? They went from respected elders to pariahs. My ex-mother-in-law tried to save face with another Facebook rant, whining about how no one cares for the elderly anymore. But it was too late. Their reputation was gone. Their lies destroyed. And me? For the first time in months, I felt something other than fear or exhaustion. I felt justice. Sweet, undeniable justice. Here's the thing. Lies can only last so long. My ex-in-laws thought they could rewrite the truth and weaponize faith against my daughters. But when you push people to their breaking point, you never know what kind of fire you might ignite. In the end, truth always finds its way to the surface. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Don't forget to subscribe, because we've got plenty more stories of justice, karma, and revenge coming your way.